It's good to have you join us on Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TUS Television. And it's that show will bring you the top stories from across all of the headlines. And my name is Merciful Ajinomo. Joining me on the show this morning is Felix. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
Good, good. We have a couple of stories that have made the round from yesterday till today and also on the newspapers. And first on our list is the launch of the eNaira. We see that story replicated in several newspapers this morning, beginning with the Daily Times. At the banner headline, they are talking about eNaira to grow Nigeria's GDP by $29 billion in 10 years. And that's Buhari saying that. We have three riders. The first says benefits of the digital currency cuts across different sectors of the economy. The second rider there is eNaira is equivalent to physical currency, and that's Emefiele. The third one is Apex Bank releases guidelines for digital currency. Just on top of the Daily Times newspaper there, we see a news on Anambra gubernatorial polls. NSA reads Riot Act, warns IPOB other criminal elements to rethink. As Yakubu says, INEC will proceed with the election. All of the stories can be found on the Daily Times. The stories underneath the picture of the day there, we see news. We've empowered 1.1 businesses from MSME fund, as Buhari saying that. Can get that on page 3. And politics, Omoagege's next Delta governor says APC. Can get that story on page 14. And on business, UBA's gross earnings hit 490.3 billion naira in third quarter of 2021. Can get out on page 3 as well. And the North Central State back review of revenue allocation formula that can be found on page 3 of the Daily Times. The banner headline talking about the eNaira has generated a lot of reactions from Nigerians, also people who are not very well used to the term cryptocurrency. What's your take on this story?
Thank you very much. Just as the CBN governor said, it's not really in a kind of a cryptocurrency, so that we don't keep mixing the words and thinking that the government fought out a cryptocurrency just to bring in the eNaira. But eNaira is just the same as the normal naira that we carry, just that this is a digital one. And the introduction of this eNaira is very good. I think we are the first in Africa to have that, and it's very good for us because it has a lot of advantages. One of them is that it's going to aid quick payment. You understand? It's going to aid quick payment. And secondly, the issue of armed robbery, is going to really reduce because this is just something liquid. You're not carrying it, isn't it? And another thing that we need to also look, when we talk about the advantages of this eNaira is that, you are dealing directly now with the CBN, not your bank now being an intermediary between you and the CBN. Then we need to also think about the costs of printing and minting in Nigeria. So it's really going to reduce, the amount being spent on minting and printing. I think that's where the president is trying to come up with, Nigeria is going to have, is going to add to our GDP, in the next, like over $20 billion, according to what he said, that's going to add to our GDP in the next 10 years. Beautiful idea. Is very, very nice because it's going to really save us. And don't forget, blockchain technology, we know that it's not really easy to hack into. Because of that, and I think Nigerians are safer, considering what eNaira has brought to us.
All right. We still have that story on the Daily Trust newspaper, and that's the banner headline there. Of course, Buhari launching eNaira says GDP to rise by 11.9 trillion naira. The writers there says policies will aid government welfare policy, and 33 banks running e-currency as CBN mints 500 million naira. What you need to know about the eNaira, we can get all of that on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We see a story on insecurity there. Gunmen attack Niger Mosque, kill 18 worshippers. That can be found on page 6. And then the NLC rejects compulsory COVID-19 vaccination, and that's Nigeria Labour Congress. We can get that on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Besides the picture of the JDS, senators kick as EFCC transfers forfeited assets to AGF office. That can be found on page 4. Kano demands 1% special status in revenue allocation formula. We can get that on page 6. Just before we go ahead, this story on gunmen attacking Niger Mosque, killing 18 worshippers, is something that we saw before yesterday and today, and people are saying, we usually thought this one's we've been talking about the issue of tagging bandits as terrorists, and we're still seeing a continuous replicated attack on different places. And now we're seeing a place of worship, the mosque, and we're seeing killing 18 people. What's your take on this?
The question we still need to ask ourselves is, why is the federal government reluctant in branding these bandits as terrorists? It's quite appalling when the commissioner of police there yesterday was trying to say it was a reprisal attack. Reprisal attack for what? Because if you look at the whole thing that these bandits have been doing, all this while, the Terrorism Prevention Act stipulates and defines to us what terrorism is. Especially when you look at Section 1 and Section 2, sub A, B, C, and D, it defines very well. And inter alia, let me just tell you some of the things. Number one, for you to know that someone or a group of people is a terrorist, must have, engaged in kidnapping, must have attacked government facilities, must have, killed for a reason. Now, these guys are not telling us what their reasons are. If you look at what they've done, the activities have shown to us that they are supposed to have been branded terrorists. And don't forget, I think ending of last month, that's September, I think September 30, the National Assembly, the Joint House of National Assembly said that the president should brand these bandits terrorists. The reason is this: United States of America will not sell ammunitions to you if they know that you are going to use it against bandits, because bandits are not supposed to be people that will be attacking, killing, kidnapping, and the rest. So now, until you brand these people terrorists, because they've already done what a terrorist would do. So that's the reason why the United States will be reluctant, or they've been reluctant in selling some things. Now, for them to be so assured that you people want to use whatever they sell to you for terrorists, you have to brand those people terrorists. That was the reason. That's the brain behind the House of Assembly branding these people. They're telling the government to brand it. Now, if you look at what happened at that place, in Niger State has over 24 million people. Over 24 million people, how many police are guiding them? Nigeria as a whole, do we have up to 400,000 policemen? For 200 million citizens? Think about all these things. So we are still playing with this issue of security.
I do know that some sort of a defense against all of this from the part of the federal government, according to what the Minister of Information and Culture said that I read, that was last week. He said, now, for you to be branded or called or defined as a terrorist, you must have an ideology, a goal. So now you said in your explanation, the third point you gave just now was you have to know the reason why they're doing this. So can you, for a shorty, say, this is the reason why they're doing what they're doing?
See, with due respect to Alhaji Lai Mohammed, there are some things you don't, thank God he's a lawyer, and I believe he knows better. There are some information you don't put to the public, so they don't start having doubts in what you say. These people they don't really need to tell you their ideology. Are they telling us their ideology? But they've acted. See, there's something in law that we know. We call it mens rea, your mental ability. For a crime to be a crime, it takes two things. Number one, the mens rea and the actus reus. The mens rea is the mental state, then the actus reus is the action. Now, the two, with what these guys are doing, they'll just go, they will attack people praying early in the morning. You attack them, killed 18, many were injured. Tell me, what more definition do we need for a terrorist?
All right. We have a couple of other stories right there, insightful stories that you should be aware of, and you should read about them so you get updated on what's happening in Nigeria and, of course, across Africa. Just grab yourself a copy of any of these newspapers we've read, and also stay updated on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com, to grab all of the updates. And also don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And like and subscribe to our YouTube. Thank you for joining us, and I guess I know and I do hope that you've learned, and also you'll go about reading and getting yourself informed. My name is Mesfala Jinamo. See you tomorrow.